Unit 1, Day 5. Notes. Today we're going to be talking about angle addition. First, one new word that we need to talk about is an angle bisector. An angle bisector bisects or cuts an angle evenly in two. So what you would see here illustrated on this picture is that this line right here represents your angle bisector. So these two angles are the same. What you might also see when you have an angle bisector is that you'll see an arc representing the angle measurement, and when the arc measures are the same, the arc will look the same. So it'll have one arc or double arcs and so on and so forth. So if this entire angle is 60 degrees, and if this line in between is a bisector, that means each one is 30. So the first problem we're going to solve for x. We got to go back to think about what kind of relationship do these two angles have with each other. That this angle and this angle, they're obviously not the same measurement. One looks much larger than the other. So they're not congruent, so they can't be vertical. But they are adjacent and they form a straight line. So since they're adjacent and form a straight line, that means they're a linear pair. So linear pairs, you would do angle plus angle equals 180. Well, now that I know that, I can write the algebraic expression that represents each angle. I would have 12x minus 3 plus 4x plus 23, and that's equal to 180. So now combine our like terms. 12x plus 4x would give me 16x. Negative 3 plus 23 would give us a plus 20. Bring down 180. Subtract 20 from both sides. You would get 16x is equal to 160. And divide both sides by 16. You would get x is equal to 10. And that's all it asks for us to do. On the next one, it wants us to determine the measure of ABC. But again, there's algebraic variables involved, so we're going to have to understand the relationship between the two angles that are in the picture. We have a measurement for DBE, and we have a measurement for ABC. They're formed by straight lines, and they share the vertex only. So that means this is a pair of vertical angles. And since it's a pair of vertical angles, we know that they are congruent. So this one would be a scenario where we have angle equal to angle. Now that I know that, I can write the algebraic expression that represents each angle. So I would have 7x plus 26 equals 10x plus 4. So now I would subtract 7x to both sides, which would leave me with 26 equals 3x plus 4. Then I would subtract 4 from each side, which would give me 22 is equal to 3x. And then divide both sides by 3. x is equal to 22 thirds, or, well, yeah, let's leave it as such for now. And now it wants us to find the measure of ABC. Well, ABC is equal to 10x plus 4. Notice I put the little letter M in front of the angle symbol that stands for measure. Okay? So now we're going to substitute our 22 thirds for x, since we know what it is now. And at this time would be a good time to grab a calculator so that you get the best accurate answer you possibly can. So you would have 10 times, for this one I wouldn't use alpha y equals, I would just put 22 divided by 3 to save time, plus 4, and equals. So the angle is approximately 77.3 degrees. When it's a repeating decimal like that, it's going to be a little tough to get exact angles if you were to test them both out, but unless you leave it the answer as a fraction, but we don't have to. So ABC is 77.3 degrees. So we're going to solve for x in this top example. We notice that the two angles form a right angle, meaning they're complementary. So since they're complementary, we're going to use the scenario angle plus angle equals 90 degrees. So again, these are complementary. So now I can write the expression. (14x plus 7 plus 20x plus 15) is going to equal 90 degrees. 14x and 20x together make 34x. 7 and 15 together make 22. And it's equal to 90. Subtract 22 on both sides would leave you with 34x is equal to 78. No, 68. Divide 34 by on both sides, and you would get x is equal to 2. So far we've had three different scenarios. We had a linear pair, so the angle plus angle was 180. We had a vertical pair, so it was angle equal to angle. And this last one we had a complementary pair, angle plus angle is 90. So those are the typical most used cases. But now you're about to see we have some different scenarios. It tells us here that angle MBD, which is the big angle, MND is this whole entire thing, is 130 degrees. We know that line CN is the bisector. So that means this small angle here is the same measurement as this small angle here. It wants us to find the measure of each angle, each one of the small angles. So let's say since we don't know the angle measure right now, let's call them x, since they'll both be x. And we know that each one of those angles will add together to form the larger angle, 130. So this is kind of like part plus part equals whole. So now we know it's going to give us 2x equal to 130. So each angle should measure 65 degrees. So again, the measure of angle MNC should equal the measure of angle DNC, which should equal 65 degrees. Not too bad. So sometimes it's, again, supplementary, complementary, or vertical. Other times there's just, they give you the information and use it. Last example. It says, given that angle ABD, which is the pole, find the measure of CBA. So this is a part, this is a part. So we have part plus part equals whole in this scenario. In angle notation, you would have the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle DBC is equal to the measure of angle ABD. Now that we know that for a fact, put the algebraic expressions where they belong. So ABC was 8x minus 11. DBC was 2x minus 10. And ABD was 99. So now combine 8x with 2x, you get 10x. Negative 11 with negative 10, you get negative 21. Bring down your 99. Add 21 to each side. You get 10x is equal to 120. Yes. And divide both sides by 10. So x is equal to 12. But was that what we were looking for at the end of the day? No. We're looking for a CBA. So we're not finished. The measure of CBA was 8x minus 11. So we're going to substitute x with 12. 8 times 12 is 96. And 96 minus 11 is 85 degrees. So the measure of angle CBA is 85 degrees. And this concludes your notes for today.